Hi, everyone. So welcome to our first after lunch session. Hopefully you had good lunch. And today our first speaker is Yuheng and Dina from Docusign. And they're talking about modernizing authentication with true passwordless at Docusign. So if you are on the app and you're watching the stream, you can ask questions on the app, and then I'll go over the app and get the questions. If not, and you are in the session here, you can definitely ask questions in person. So here we go.
All right, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Yuheng Huang. I'm the engineering manager for Docusign for authentication team. My team primarily dealing with, OAuth, SSO, account recovery, account takeover, those kind of spaces.
Hey everyone, my name is Dina Zheng and I'm Yuheng's counterpart. I'm the product manager for the authentication team at Docusign.
Let's take an overview on today's agenda. We're so excited to share that going to tell you the story from passkey support to true passwordless. Also, we're going to showcase you using passkeys for identity wallet protections. Next, we'll be looking at road ahead and upcoming items. Last, we'll reserve some time for you to ask any questions. Passkeys in practice. Let's take a look at how we prompt user for passkey. This is our login screen. You'll see username and password field. You'll also notice using security keys and using passkeys. I do wanted to highlight that back in 2023, July, Docusign launched the support for security key, and it was device-bound authentication. Last year at Authenticate, we were able to share our success for supporting passkey, which is a cross-device authentication. Let's continue the user journey. The user actually enters the username first, and then they'll land on the second page, which they'll see the options for using passkeys and security keys. In this case, I have already saved a passkeys and into the Google Password Manager. Once the user clicks on that, the Google Password Manager will try to verify my biometric information, and once they do, the user is logged in seamlessly. We'll share more insights on the overall passkey usage at Docusign for the next slide. Currently, Docusign only sees 4.76% of overall login traffic that uses passkey. This really shows us we have a lot of room to grow and opportunity to drive higher adoption for passkey. To help this, we offer two ways for a user to register passkey. One is through user profile site, which under the security section, they can register security keys, passkeys, manage their two-step verification status, and enable passwordless login. Second, if a user actually logged in through Docusign with a password and they don't have a passkey registered with us, we're going to prompt this screen to nudge the user to do a registration with us and enable passwordless login. Our study shows that 95% of the users are open to or eventually willing to register a passkey. From this experimentation, we have learned that users really prefer these convenient prompts over having to visit a separate site and doing their security setting. And with this page, they're more likely to adopt passkeys. More metrics to show you. Since we launched our security keys, we have over 11 million passkeys and security keys created since the feature launch. This really means we have over 130K passkey usage per week. One thing I do want to highlight, the login success rate for passkey is 99%. I wanted to take a pause, let you to guess what's the password login success rate. It is actually 76%. Comparing to passkey, passkey really highlights how much smoother and reliable login experience that they can provide. Based on this success, we're planning further enhancement and more ways to drive adoption. Let me show you. So on this slide, let's talk about how we simplify and promoting passkey as the default login option. We're merging security keys and passkeys option into a single streamlined section and making passkey as the default login option. We're also enabling WebAuthn autofill in Google Password Manager, or in iOS case, it's iCloud Keychain, so that in the case of the user have multiple credentials stored, the passkey will be the first option they'll see. This change has already led fourfold increase in the passkey usage since we made the change. And we rolled out this change as of last night, and I'm really excited to see what's coming up. From here, I'll hand over to Dina, who will guide you through our journey to true passwordless.
Thanks so much, Yuheng. And so now, all of you know that it is incredibly hard to actually migrate easily millions of users to utilize true passwordless. And it takes education, seamless encouragement, and robust support to ensure that anyone can feel comfortable with utilizing a passkey and throwing away their passwords. Let me take you through our journey of how we're going to get there. First, at the beginning of our journey, we started with supporting the traditional passwords, which is your basic username and password login experience. For our enterprise customers, we are supporting single sign-on, SSO login, and two-factor authentication, which allows users to further secure their accounts with a secondary form of identification, like a phone number, secondary email, or even Authenticator app. Then we added security keys and biometrics. So security keys is a physical one, like YubiKey, and biometrics, you can think of Face ID. And next, we introduced passkeys with cross-device support. And this allows users to log in from anywhere without a password. We're continuously optimizing the user experience with the goal of driving our passkey adoption and usage metrics to eventually ease and encourage our users to our next ideal phase, true passwordless. With true passwordless, we envision a future where users are able to log in by default using passkeys, no passwords in the picture. But right now, passwords continue to be a security vulnerability and introduces a lot of phishing attacks and vulnerabilities into the security fabric of Docusign. So where do we want to go? As a company, we want to achieve a true passwordless future where users will not have passwords on their accounts. But we realize before we can get there, we need to make sure that our users have a secure way to recover their account. For scenarios like if they lose their passkeys device, if their device is just not with them at the moment of logging in, or their device that they're logging in from doesn't support WebAuthn, meaning they don't even support passkey usage. We're investing in ways that users can recover their account through modern methods like an email-based magic link and still using a secondary form of authentication where applicable. So one of the key areas that we're investing for account recovery is building it more in product flows. For admin managed users that have an admin actually managing their accounts and security, we are actually launching a new recovery flow that allows admins to directly initiate a password reset for these users, all through the admin tool. With just one click, an admin can trigger a secure email to their user, enabling a faster and more self-service recovery without going through support. For our unmanaged, our standard users, these are ones without admins that can vouch for them. The approach looks slightly different. Here, recovery will rely on trusted pre-verified channels. We plan to build a magic link recovery, which is sent to the user's verified email And this is often paired with a secondary factor for additional assurance. And when all else fails, we will also have an optional identity verification challenge. And this brings real identity into the recovery flow, enabling users to still regain access even without a password. On top of all of these in-product flows, we've actually been able to launch and automate our support flows currently. And we have a new automated support web form. We've actually seen huge success, seeing 60% of support cases dropped. And this will only continue to go down as we roll out True Passwordless. And this does translate to $500,000 of support costs saved annually. And more importantly, users are not getting locked out. So the guiding principle here is simple: no password resets and no reverting back to legacy systems. Everything is built around modern, passwordless recovery experiences that are both secure and user-friendly. At this point, we've taken you through how we've implemented passkeys for login, but we also want to make sure we actually show you and take it a step further on how we're showing you how Docusign is implementing passkeys beyond just login, but also in the identity space. At Docusign, we facilitate the signing of documents and transactions of some of the most important moments of your lives: a new house, a new purchase, or even highly confidential business contracts. So let's say, for example, we have a CEO named Janice that needs to sign dozens of advanced security contracts a day, and that requires an identity verification check. So let's take a look at how Janice signs her contracts using identity verification. Currently, to sign an envelope that requires identity verification challenges, it requires you to open a link that we text to your phone. So Janice is now receiving a link to her mobile device, and she opens the link, which prompts her to use her phone camera. The camera now is scanning her identity verification, and in this case, this is Janice's driver's license. Next, we'll use your phone camera to scan your face to verify you are who you are. And after we run our checks, Janice is successfully verified. Now, let's take a look at how we've extended passkeys beyond login and how we've actually improved this flow with passkeys. The identity wallet here lets users verify the identity securely and instantly. And so, Janice will actually be able to identify and sign her ID via envelope. Here, Janice is prompted to pull up her identity wallet, and using her passkeys, she's able to use Face ID or her Touch ID to authenticate. This helps her unlock her identity wallet, and now her verified wallet is officially recognized. And from there on, Janice is able to instantly sign her envelope. And by combining passkeys with identity wallet, we've created a fully frictionless experience, secure enough for identity verification, yet simple enough that users barely notice the authentication step at all. And this is a perfect example of how passkeys can go beyond just authentication. They're becoming an enabler of trusted, high-assurance workflows across Docusign. And after launching passkey support for our identity wallet, we've seen tremendous adoption and measurable impact. Over the past year, we've averaged 11,000 participants per month who have actually successfully completed passkey registration. So they've been able to successfully create ID wallets with the passkey. And every month, more than 15,000 participants are using their identity wallets to sign these envelopes, and is fully secured with their passkey. What's even more exciting is that passkeys are proving valuable beyond just login. And by using passkeys with Identity Wallet, we've seen that we've saved a total of 158 hours of signing time annually. That's the equivalent of 7 full workdays saved. So simply by streamlining how users sign their IDV required documents. To put in perspective, these paralegals or any enterprise customers, they may be signing and managing contracts, reviewing NDAs, client agreements, filings, and these easily grow at scale. Imagine if they had to sign 100 of these per week. So they can't afford delays, password resets, or lockouts. And so now with Identity Wallet, with passkey support, we've been able to allow authentication to become invisible, secure, instant, and compliant. So as we look ahead, our focus is on continuing to push the boundaries of what passwordless means at Docusign. We're investing in 3 main avenues. First, we're focused on increasing passkey adoption at Docusign, making the experience smoother with enhancements like the web authn autofill that Yuheng mentioned earlier, making sure that we communicate clearly to users the actual value and incentive of registering for a passkey, so that users can see the value and easily adopt true passwordless. Further, we're also wanting to default users to using passkeys so that users can directly use a passkey without even thinking about a password during the login experience. And that's the best kind of authentication, the one that kind of feels almost invisible. And second, we're doubling down on robust account recovery. We know recovery is what truly unlocks a passwordless world, and so we're doing that with already supporting recovery codes, which is secure recovery codes that a user can utilize to regain access to their accounts when they're setting up their two-factor authentication, as well as building more robust in-product account recovery flows for admin-managed users and standard users, utilizing things like the Magic Link recovery flow, as well as advanced identity verification. And lastly, our true passwordless future state, our ideal state where we're imagining users are not falling back to passwords anymore. There's no reverting back to legacy systems, and it's just a secure, guided recovery experience. And ultimately, we envision that passkeys will help power and streamline login, envelope signing, and identity verification within Docusign. And so it's kind of clear to us now. Passkeys aren't just a login method anymore. They're becoming the foundation of digital trust and identity across Docusign. And so this journey has taught us something important. When we make security simple, users will embrace it. And at Docusign, we're proud to be leading that change, helping millions of users move into a secure, faster, and truly passwordless future. Thank you.
Thank you. We have some questions from the app.
Let me look. So I'll probably just read through. The first one is, what improvements are you looking to improve your passkey usage and adoption metrics? I'll probably take the first one. So like I mentioned, we are really going to make some UI changes to really promote passkeys. Like also Dina mentioned that we're not going to allow user to even fall back to password. That's the future we're thinking, where user really have no choice but opting into passkey. And at the same time, passkey really provides a reliable and secure way for user to log in. If you have anything to add.
Yeah, kind of adding on to that as well, we're exploring how we can actually create more cohesive, concise messaging on our UX so that users actually see that passkeys aren't just something secure and adds friction. It's actually mainly to add simpler and more faster login experience. So we want to make sure we incorporate that within our next phases of implementation here.
So what are you doing to address devices with no web?
The question is, how are you addressing logins from devices without web authn support, right?
Yeah. So we have some data to share that actually the user who log into Docusign, there are 25% user who actually uses devices that doesn't support web authn. So I think you can take it.
It's a relatively low number that we're seeing here. So we do anticipate that most of our users coming into Docusign, using Docusign, are actually utilizing devices with passkey support. We're also looking at, with account recovery flows or our new introduction into Magic Link, Magic Link will be a way that users are able to log into Docusign utilizing an email-based secure way where users are also authenticating using their second factor authentication as well. So anytime a user loses their passkey device, they are logging in through a computer or PC that doesn't have WebAuthn support, or they just are logging in but they don't have their mobile phone with them at that moment of time, they still have a way to log in, and we don't let them fall back to password. So we're not guiding them through a password reset flow that makes them set up a new password. They can still log in regardless.
Okay, the next one, for identity verification flow, what will you compare the ID against? You know, the driving license scan that you showed, will you collect user ID?
So some of the key information that we've utilized for the identity verification is utilizing the name. So name is a huge component for us because we need to match that against our envelopes, match that against the user profile within Docusign, as well as whatever form of identification that they use. There's also a second avenue, which is using their Face ID or biometrics. So we need to be able to scan their face to see that that actually visually matches up to the identity verification that they have provided.
Scan documents.
In terms of these kind of documents, these documents are things that we actually utilize for IDV, so IDV check.
The question is, after you scan the driving license, what do you do with it? Destroy the data? Do you keep this, store the data? This is what the question is.
I can take that. So our IDV product actually supports multiple format of identity verification, such as US driver's license, military ID, passport. We also partner with Clear. In case if you have a Clear account, you can sign in with Clear, and they provide the actual authenticated credential to Docusign to pass the identity verification.
So for the magic links, how do you verify the emails?
So with magic links, to verify the emails, the user already has their user profile set on the email. So the email has already been pre-verified, and it's already a trusted channel. Users, when they are setting up passkeys, we are requiring them to also set up a two-factor authentication. So they are meeting that strong bar for those users in the case that they don't have their passkeys. And that perfectly kind of sets them up for utilizing Magic Link. The user is able to go into their email, which is already pre-verified because that's what you've signed up for Docusign with, is your email. And then you also verify with a secondary form of identification. So that's your secondary proof that you've registered.
So last question on the app. Is enrollment in IDV required prior to your using them as a recovery method?
So enrolling in IDV isn't required prior to the year of using it. You can actually utilize or enroll in your ID wallet at the time of signing your envelope. And that's the great thing, is that that is when you can actually create a passkey as well to unlock your ID wallet. We are still also investing in how we're going to fully roll this out too, so more to come.
Any questions from the people in the room? One question.
I'll speak loudly. Repeat it.
Okay, you need to go on.
You mentioned verifying email at account registration. Is there any third-party verification of that email, or is it more of a code you use?
So there's multiple forms of activation that we currently support when a user comes into Docusign and creates an account. So that does include activation link. That's a secure email sent to your, the email that you use to register your account. They click on that and then they can activate their account. Secondly, we also support one-time code. So that's going to be a code valid for a limited amount of time. And that's going to be a 6-digit code that they enter to activate and verify that they own that email. Hopefully that answers your question.
Any more questions? Well, thank you guys. We got very good questions here.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
great.
you so
Thanks,
much.
everyone.
Thank you.